Hello everyone! Thank you all so much for your support on my turn back time animation. I went up by so many subs in such a short amount of time, it was honestly really mind-blowing. I've read every single comment on that video and I'm so glad everybody liked it. I get like a new comment on that video every other day. It's honestly amazing. It's made me motivated to make more YouTube videos for my channel, especially since I have so many subscribers now. There's a lot of you all here, it's kind of scary. I know you all subscribe for animation, but honestly, animation is really tough and it's hard for me to get motivated to do it. I'm honestly surprised I finished that PMV that I did. So I decided to do something else that I've been thinking about doing for a long while now, which is speed paints. I've always loved these types of videos and I always wanted to make them. Every time I find a channel that does these kinds of speed paints, I like binge watch them, and I can't tell you how many times I rewatch the same ones. I'm not saying that animation is off the table on my channel forever, but this way I'll be able to make more videos without stressing myself out. I hope you guys like these. So for this video, I decided to do some DreamSMP designs. It's very fun to do designs for DreamSMP because of the extensive lore that you can add like little details in your designs with, and to be honest, fan artists were really creative. We started from square one. This is the man who owns the SMP. Look at him. He is literally just green. It's ugly green too. Now, let me give you all a little lesson in a thing called shape language. Shape language is where you use shapes to convey certain things about your characters through their design. You see this a lot in animation and you probably haven't even noticed. So how does one do this elusive shape language? Well, there are three main shapes for when you talk about shape language. First is the circle, used to convey soft, nice, welcoming characters. These shapes and round features suggest friendliness and make, in my opinion, the most appealing characters. Next are squares, usually used to create strong and imposing characters. These straight edges and solid figures are used to show strength and, solidness, I guess. They're very hard to beat down. Finally, there are triangles. These sharp angles and pointy bits suggest danger and are used mostly for villains. However, not all of these shapes can be taken at their face value. They can also reveal something hidden about a character. A villain could be made out of round shapes but have triangles inside them. This is because they're meant to be round and friendly looking to deceive the main character into thinking they're trustworthy when really they have evil intentions. It's a form of visual storytelling that I've wanted to incorporate into my art more, so when I did the concept sketches, I started by making each character in shapes using these shape rules. Here they are. I will go over them more in detail in my design process, starting with Dream, our main antagonist of the server. Oh, and two of the designs have bloodstains in them, so this is just a warning. Alright, Dream, the puppeteer behind all the strings. This was only revealed at the Battle of the Discs where he was arrested, and until then, the entire server apart from Tommy thought he was a good guy, for obvious reasons. So, for his design, his face is entirely round, but his cloak is a triangle. This is meant to show that he put on a friendly front for others with the smile, but he really is dangerous. I actually designed Dream before, and it more so followed with the saddest design from our animatics, a standard green hoodie with a mask and belt. I made this design for a little clay figure that I sculpted. Haha, clay. I know, get your laughs out now. I haven't heard that one before. However, I added a touch to where he has these little white shorts to pay homage to the white blob on his avatar. I don't know, I just thought it was cute. And this design here, I wanted to make it a little more interesting, so there are more details that I couldn't put in my other design because it was made for something that needed to be simple. So he's kind of wearing a full black bodysuit thing. If you ever seen people swimming with dolphins, it's kind of like that. I don't know, it's just I've always done it like that for some reason, and I don't know, I just wanted to keep it. It just kind of reads as Dream to me. I'm not sure. But he's got the green cloak over him. The cloak itself is damaged and repaired because Dream had, before he decided to take over from behind the scenes, been in like many battles. Like for instance, the battle for Lemamberg versus the DreamSMP. I kept the little white shorts in the design because I've only ever seen it in my designs. With a fandom as big as this and so many fan artists, it's kind of hard to have your designs be like super original. And I've only ever seen white shorts really done by me, so I decided to keep that to give it a little bit of my own personal touch and differentiate from other designs. And I really like it. Underneath his coat, he has a netherite chestplate on because, as we've seen, especially now that he's in prison and Quackity's coming in there every day, his biggest fear is death. So I imagine he would want to be protected at all times, especially since he's on his last canon life. But even before then, he was kind of afraid of death. It's the only thing he'd ever been afraid of other than Tommy. He also has knee pads because they're neat. Oh, and as an added bonus for his drawing, I gave Dream his signature netherite axe, Nightmare. I had to pull up a reference for it because I'm bad at drawing props. Dream's axe has an emerald on the little back blade thing, just to give it a little personality. I only chose an emerald because those are green. The axe is more of a battle axe than a chopping wood axe because Dream only ever really uses the axe to crit, as 1.16. So yeah, the axe. So here's the final Dream. I think it's my most thought out design, and I'm really proud of the axe. Next up is George Not Found, or otherwise known as George Lore. George hasn't really participated in lore much up until recently, and his whole thing is sleeping. The only other thing we have to go off of is how he made the mushroom house and how he's always sleeping. You guys can come at me in the comments talking about all your theories and analysis, but I don't care how much you love Gogi or whatever, but he's not a lore man, and honestly, it's okay. However, I do like Mushroom George, so... Well, anyway, so for shapes, I use mostly circles because he's not very aggressive or necessarily, like, intimidating. At first, I gave him that big mushroom hat you see in most fan art and most fan Gogi designs. Did I just say Gogi again? But I got rid of it because, I don't know, I didn't like it very much. I mean, I like it in other people's, but it just didn't look right on mine. It didn't work with what I was going with. So he just has a little mushroom kind of growing out the side of his head and smaller mushrooms in other spots. It's less like obvious in your face mushrooms, but it's sort of like supposed to be like mushrooms that have grown on him while he's been sleeping this whole time. For his outfit, George's skin is just in a t-shirt and jeans, but I gave him a long sleeved undershirt just to give it something else. And George kind of has that kind of style, I suppose. At least that's what the fandom likes to think. They always like to edit people in like e-boy outfits. I don't know. I just think it looks better than just a t-shirt by itself. It also adds a little white. I don't know. It's very nice looking to me. Last but not least, his accessory, the lore sword. Passed down through generations of lore. The lore sword now belongs to George Lore. I gave it a little Supreme logo on the side to show that it belongs to George. It's kind of like his mark, kind of like what I did with Dream's axe. I cannot draw swords for the life of me, especially from angles, so I took one from the Clip Studio asset store. I love the asset store. It's one of the things that really drew me to Clip Studio, and the 3D model feature is also great. I got it when it was 50% off, so it was only $25 for Clip Studio Pro. I think the sale's ended now, unfortunately, but if you want, you'll have to pay full price, but it's a really good program. I honestly really recommend it. It's better than Photoshop anyway. So that's my George design. I'm very proud of the posing and props on this one. Now we have Sapnap. Like George, he also doesn't do much lore-wise. He is involved in every pet war and has the whole thing Kinoko Kingdom with Carl, but I couldn't figure out how to put that in his design. So he's a little more generic, but I still like it. For his shapes, I made him mostly out of squares because he seems to be the strongest out of the Dream Team. I'm not saying the others aren't strong, because they are, but Sapnap has always struck me as kind of like the fighter on the team. So he, in my headcanon, I suppose, is a little more muscular. I don't really know how to draw muscles though, so I had to omit it a little bit. Hopefully if I study anatomy more it'll be easier, but you work with what you got. Sapnap's skin is the most appealing out of the 3 Dream Team skins. However, I would never change their skins for the world. No E-Boy monolith for you, I've seen you sending those. I made his white shirt kind of shorter than his skin suggests it is, with a big black sweater underneath. I don't know, it just looked more interesting. The thing I find most funny about this design though, I accidentally made him Sasuke from Naruto. He's literally just Sasuke. When I drew his hair, I was like, oops, I drew an anime pro tag. But now that I look at it again, it's literally just young Sasuke. Let's just say I did it on purpose because Sapnap likes Demon Slayer. Yep. I made his eyes red instead of brown like his avatar because I thought that added needed splash of color that only the flame on his shirt gave. There's also the whole thing with him being Vad's canon son, who he found in the Nether. I don't know, I've seen fan art of it where Sapnap has fire powers. I prefer Sapnap to just be a regular human guy, so I didn't have that headcanon, but I suppose the Red Eyes could pay homage to it. And there we have my finished Sasuke. I mean Sapnap. I didn't mean to make him this anime shonen protagonist boy, but honestly, it's what he deserves. Ooh, and now we're on to my favorite design, Wilbur Soot. The real challenge for this was to figure out which Wilbur to draw. We have Lamamber, Ghostbur, Wilbur. This man goes through a lot of costume changes. However, I decided to draw our most recently revived Alivebur. For his shapes, I was so excited because I drew so many triangles. This entire man is just a large, pointy cactus because he's an entire villain. I think it came out great. Everything about him is pointy, and it's my best use of shape language so far. Even the trench coat is pointy. The only thing that's round are his glasses. It's just pointy glasses is too obvious. He has a bandaged chest from where Philza stabbed him that's still stained with blood, because I imagine he keeps it to be edgy. He has a little Lamamberg patch on his arm from when he was Wilbur and still believed in Lamamberg, because before he was Alivebur, he was Ghostbur. Before he was Ghostbur, he was Wilbur. And he got revived as Alivebur from Wilbur, so it's a little complicated if you don't know what I'm talking about. His hair is all wild and spiky because it's to show it's a little unhinged still. I really like it, but the only issue with cartoony hair like that is how when you go to draw it from a different angle, it can look like really wonky. If you ever noticed how Mickey Mouse's ears are always flat circles no matter what angle he looks from, that's why. I think I pulled it off though. And that's my final Wilbur design. Like I said, it's my favorite design I did. I just love all the triangles and it's so great. So great. Finally, we have our main guy, Tommy, in it. With Tommy, he was kind of hard to design shape-wise because Tommy can be a lot of things depending on whose perspective you're watching. If you watch Tommy, he's just this misunderstood guy who has serious PTSD and lashes out at everyone because he's always on high alert for the next one to take advantage of him. Whereas if you watch Technoblade, for instance, he's just this loud kid who takes all your stuff and yells obscenities at you, betraying you in the end for his own interest. So for shape language, it's a little difficult. Tommy's only 17, so he is younger than everyone on the server. I say only 17, I'm younger than him. So to portray that, I mostly use circles on his face to give him a younger look. His body's made of rectangles and squares to show his strength through all the hardships, like exile, the wars, and literally being bludgeoned to death in a prison with a potato. His eyes and fan-accepted bandana are made to show his sharp personality through their triangle shapes. Tommy has lots of bandages because he always seems to be dying and losing his stuff. Yeah. The only change I would give him is having some armor since he has that fear of taking damage. But I didn't think of that while I was designing it. And with that, we have the final Tommy design. One of my more bland ones, but I'm a firm believer in how protagonists don't always need a super complex design, and how even though they are main characters, they don't have to have all these accessories. Plus, Tommy isn't really an accessories man, in real life or otherwise. And with that, that's the end of the video. This was really fun to do, and I hope I can make more of these, more DreamSMP designs and other things. I am more than just a DreamSMP fan. I have a multitude of ideas that I am going to keep to myself for now. I also wanted to try other types of content. I've tried to be a gaming channel before, but it always falls flat. However, I still do have gaming ideas that I do want to do. I'd make a separate channel for that though. I don't know if people will like these videos, but I think they would be really fun to make, so I want to do it anyway, even if no one's watching. Anyway, you can find all the finished designs over on my Instagram and Tumblr. I will link them down below. Thank you all for watching, and have a really nice day.